is it? Okay. Dear friends, welcome to eRoshni, series of 7 concerts. This is the 5th concert. And briefly about Sankara Eye Foundation. Sankara Eye Foundation is, I call it a people's movement built by almost 1,000 volunteers and 90,000 donors and many other supporters across the country. So, right, and we are currently running 10 hospitals, 10 Sankara Eye hospitals in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Madhya Pradesh. 11th one, because of COVID, it got delayed. It's coming up in Panvel, Mumbai. It will be inaugurated end of this year, December. Hyderabad construction will start this fall, and it should be ready end of 2020 or early 2021. So across these hospitals, we have completed 2 million free surgeries. We are also partnering with other partners in the states of Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, West Bengal, and UP. And we are also building a new hospital with a fantastic partner called Akhand Jyoti Eye Hospital in Mastichak near Patna. And their construction will also start this December. So overall, we have completed over 2.1 million surgeries, and it's all only because of you. And your charity is kind of in trouble now, of course, like everyone in the world due to COVID. So basically, our patients are not coming. Basically, we depend on the paid patients. 80% free, 20% paid. That's how we become self-sufficient. The 20% paid is not coming, and the eye camps have been stopped. So Dr. Ramani, our founder, is in a dilemma. We don't want to let the employees go, but they are going through salary cuts and all that. So we come to you, your cause. We are in trouble. You have to save us, save yourself. So we have a goal of $500,000 to raise. We have almost close to 200, another 300 to go. I'm sure we'll get it done. I mean, again. So now back to this concert. Very, very happy to present Sanjeev and Armeen Ramabhadran. He came highly recommended by another Rafi fan, and then he sang at our Long Island banquet, and they both were super hits. So Sanjeev Ramabhadran, born and raised in the USA, Sanjeev has great exposure to various genres of Indian music. Trained under eminent vocalist composer Sriram Phatak, Sanjeev acquired a unique talent with both classical and lighter genres of Indian music. He is the first ever NRA participant, winner of TVS Saregamapa main schedule, then hosted by superstar Sonu Nigam. He has recorded a devotional album with singer Kavita Krishnamurthy and has collaborated on a hit melody for Woody Allen's 1996 film Everyone Says I Love You. Sanjeev has also performed a cappella singing at the most prestigious Carnegie Hall. Currently, he hosts Swaranjali, a weekly radio show. He can play the keyboard, he can play the violin, play the tabla, and sing. I'm very jealous of you, Sanjeev. Yeah. Now, to introduce Armeen Ramabhadran. Armeen is born into a music-loving family and was exposed and deeply influenced by the music of the golden era from an early age. Her training has endowed her with highly expressive, finely detailed renditions of the vintage Hindi melodies from the 40s and 50s. Armeen has won accolades from legendary maestro composer Anil Biswas, veteran lyricist Hasrat Jaipuri, and playback singer Meena Kapoor. Armeen presents her music with unparalleled refinement, authenticity, and sincerity. Welcome, Armeen and Sanjeev. Wish you all the best.
Sanjeev, I think you're okay. It's not mute. It's not unmuting. Can you unmute yourself?
Okay, is that better?
Perfect.
All right, great. So thank you, everybody. Yeah, we're all on a learning curve with things technological that they've it's just an onslaught of things that we have to learn now in the era that we're in. Thank you to Sankara Eye Foundation for thinking of us for this series, the eRoshni series. We're very happy to be here. Hope all of you tuning in are doing well in these challenging times and are finding time to take care of yourselves, through means like these. And we are happy to share some music this evening. Like I said, we're on a bit of a learning curve with the technology. We think we've got things to a pretty good place, but all standard disclaimers apply. We will get started with things. We've got some melodies from all around, you can say. We are very partial to some of the classics, but we'll try to mix it up a little bit. We've got about an hour or so, and before we do that, I want to invite you guys, hope that all of you have either already had a chance to check out or will, make it a point to check out the excellent work that Sankara Eye Foundation has been doing. The website is, if I remember correctly, www.giftofvision.org. So please take a few minutes to log on and see the wonderful work they're doing. And if you can support their cause, all the better. And hope if our singing helps with any of that, so much more the better, if that's a word. Anyway, so our first song needs no introduction, so I won't give one. We'll talk a little bit about it after as we connect to some of the other stuff we're going to be doing this evening.
ये रात भीगी भीगी ये मस्त फिजाएं उठा धीरे धीरे वो चांद प्यारा प्यारा ये रात भीगी भीगी ये मस्त फिजाएं उठा धीरे धीरे वो चांद प्यारा प्यारा
जो आग सी लगा के गुमसुम है चांदनी सोने भी नहीं देता मौसम का ये इशारा
इठलाती हवा नीलम का गगन कलियों पे ये बेहोशी की नमी ऐसे में भी क्यों बेचैन है दिल जीवन में न जाने क्या है कमी
क्यों आग सी लगा के गुमसुम है चांदनी सोने भी नहीं देता मौसम का ये इशारा
ये रात भीगी भीगी ये मस्त फिजाएं उठा धीरे धीरे वो चांद प्यारा प्यारा
जो दिन के उजाले में न मिला दिल ढूंढे ऐसे सपने को इस रात की जगमग में डूबी मैं खोज रही हूँ अपने को
ये रात भीगी भीगी ये मस्त फिजाएं, उठा धीरे धीरे वो चांद प्यारा प्यारा।
क्यों आग से लगा के गुमसुम है चांदनी, सोने भी नहीं देता मौसम का ये इशारा।
ऐसे में कहीं क्या कोई नहीं भूले से जो हमको याद करे।
एक हल्की सी मुस्कान से जो सपनों का जहां आबाद करे।
ये रात भीगी भीगी ये मस्त फिजाएं, उठा धीरे धीरे वो चांद प्यारा प्यारा।
क्यों आग से लगा के गुमसुम है चांदनी, सोने भी नहीं देता मौसम का ये इशारा।
ये रात भीगी भीगी ये मस्त फिजाएं, उठा धीरे धीरे वो चांद प्यारा प्यारा।
Thank you all very much. I hope it's coming through to all of you. As I said, it's a very early experience, and we get to figure out if all the equipment we have in the house actually, hooks together and forms a viable circuit to get the music out to you. We're learning a little bit as we go along, but this is, as I said, just a quick word about the song. The song puts us squarely in the 1950s, which is a period that is of Hindi film music particularly that is very dear to us. All the elements sort of conspired in such a way that, the playback singing was fresh, the sounds of East and West commingled so beautifully, and the engine of Shankar and Jaikishan was a driving force in those days, one of the driving forces, and what staying power they had. This song from the movie Chori Chori, Mannada and Lataji, just one of those memorable, unforgettable numbers, really, no other way to describe it. The next song I'll sing now is also from the 60s, from the 50s. Right, one more wire I forgot to connect. So we get to play not just performers, but sound engineer here too. This is a new thing for us. So, in the same time period, another driving force in the early days of Hindi film music, and certainly the playback world, was that I was going to say duo, but really it was a trio of lyricist Shakil Badayuni Saab, composer Naushad Ali, and a very young Mohammad Rafi, who was on his way to staking his claim to stardom in the Hindi film playback world. This is a song that is special to me for a few different reasons. It actually is a request from Mandeep Singh, himself a well-known singer in the Bay Area, so thank you very much for this. It comes again from the 1950s, and the classically based melody was very strong and very overt back then. Naushad Saab, one of the foremost at really bringing the rags to the forefront. And for those of you so inclined, the melody Tilang is a gorgeous. It's four lighter shades, but it figures all over the place in popular music, and so many in Hindi films alone, and even in the repertoire of Muhammad Rafi alone, so many Tilang-based melodies. But the soundtrack of the movie Shabab is the backdrop for this one. It's special to me, as Muraliji mentioned, TVS Saregama, and I'm using the word Saregama, it's better known as Saregama now, but at the time, TVS Saregama, hosted by Sonu Nigam, was a first of its kind show in many ways, not the very least of which was the hosting that Sonu Nigam used to do. He was, there have been none like him after that. But I did have the fortune of participating in that and, got a lot of good exposure through that and met some of the world's best musicians through that. What a platform. But this was the first song that I performed on that show. So it is, for that reason, very, very dear to me.
लाई हयात आए क़ज़ा ले चली चले अपनी खुशी ना आए ना अपनी खुशी चले यही अरमान लेकर आज अपने घर से हम निकले जहाँ है जिंदगी अपनी उसी कूचे में दम निकले जहाँ है जिंदगी अपनी उसी कूचे में दम निकले सितारों जगमगाओ तुम बहारों मुस्कुराओ तुम मेरी उड़ाओ तुम हंसी मिलकर उड़ाओ तुम जिन्हें सजदे किए हमने जिन्हें सजदे किए हमने वो पत्थर के सनम निकले वो पत्थर के सनम निकले यही अरमान लेकर आज अपने घर से हम निकले जहाँ है जिंदगी अपनी उसी कूचे में दम निकले यही अरमान लेकर आज अपने घर से हम निकले जहाँ है जिंदगी अपनी उसी कूचे में दम निकले अभी दिस इज शकील साहब्स राइटिंग very situational Shabab is a musical it's a love story as so many were but the second verse बोल है तमन्ना है यही अब तो मेरा सर हो तेरा दर हो ना आंसू कोई आंखों में न शिकवा कोई लब पर हो अगर यूं मौत आ जाए तो अपने दिल से गम निकले very dramatically charged as all those pieces were in that time and who better to sing it than Rafi Sahab ना आंसू को न शिकवा कोई लब पर हो। अगर यूं मौत आ जाए, अगर यूं मौत आ जाए तो अपने दिल से गम निकले, तो अपने दिल से गम निकले। यही अरमान लेकर आज अपने घर से हम निकले।
Thank you very much. Again, for those of you just joining us, I'm Sanjeev Ramabhadran, and my wife Armeen is with me today. We are happy to be performing for Sankara Eye Foundation's eRoshni series, a different set of circumstances we're in, and just getting used to, rigging up our whole place for a performance like this, and hope you guys are enjoying. Going to shift gears a little bit now. For any of these melodies, I think all of you will agree that those musicians, particularly in the popular arena, that have enthralled us over the decades, they have some things in common. They are, of course, they are brilliant singers, but much of that starts with them being just stupendous music lovers, and the range of melodies that they have listened to and absorbed and sort of inspired them is really it's as much fun to listen to them as if you get a chance to sit down and talk to them and just have a discussion about music and the music they love. It's just fascinating. So they have that in common about being the music lovers, and the other part then is, especially in the popular arena, there's some insight into the dramatic, right? That a lot of these songs are on screen. So having a feel for whether it's mimicking, mannerisms or voices, or just creating a picture with the voice and resorting to all different kinds of singing to do that, being able to convey a range of moods in the process. On those two counts, a few names come to mind. Rafi Saab, of course, was one of the first to inject that dramatic sense into the singing, but with the ardent music lover and the flair for the dramatic, some names come to mind, and perhaps few more prominently than S.P. Balasubramaniam. And he has, of course, he idolized Rafi Sahab himself, but he went on to such a star-studded career across so many languages of the subcontinent. And I'm going to pick up one of his numbers now. So I'm treading in dangerous territory here a little bit. Some of you know the idea of a concept piece. Now, Shankar Mahadevan's Breathless is such a great example of a concept piece. What I'm going to try to pick up now is what you can think of as the original Breathless song before that came out, some years before. I have heard that S.P. Balasubramaniam has done the Breathless thing for real. Of course, in the movie, this was a studio-edited track, but he's capable of all kinds of things. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. Let me give it a shot and have some fun. This is from the movie Keladi Kanmani, and it's a composition, of course, of Maestro Raja.
மண்ணில் இந்த காதலன்றி யாரும் வாழல் கூடுமோ, எண்ணம் கன்னி பாவையின்றி ஏழு ஸ்வரம் தான் பாடுமோ, பெண்மை இன்றி மண்ணில் இன்பம் ஏதடா கண்ணை மூடி கனவில் வாழும் மானிடா மண்ணில் இந்த காதலன்றி யாரும் வாழ்தல் கூடுமோ எண்ணம் கன்னி பாவையின்றி ஏழு ஸ்வரம் தான் பாடுமோ பெண்மை இன்றி மண்ணில் இன்பம் ஏதடா கண்ணை மூடி கனவில் வாழும் மானிடா
So many of you knew that this is actually picturized on the great singer himself. Did a good bit of acting and dubbing in his career. So, and many of you who know the song know इसमें क्या खास बात है कोशिश करूंगा मैं
வெண்ணிலவு பொன்னி நதியும் கன்னியின் துணையின்றி என்ன சுகம் இங்கு படைக்கும் பெண்மையின் சுகம் அன்றி சந்தனமும் சங்க தமிழும் பொங்கிடும் வசந்தமும் சிந்தி வரும் பொங்கும் அமுதம் தங்கிடும் குமுதமும் கன்னி மகள் அருகில் இறந்தால் சுவைக்கும் கன்னி துணை இழந்தால் முழுதும் கசக்கும் விழியினில் மொழியினில் நடையினில் உடையினில் திசையில் சுகம் தரும் அணங்கிவள் பிறப்பிதுதான் மண்ணில் இந்த காதலன்றி யாரும் வாழ்தல் கூடுமோ எட்டும் கன்னி பாவையின்றி ஏழு ஸ்வரம் தான் பாடுமோ முத்துமணி ரத்தினங்களும் கட்டிய பவழமும் கொத்துமலர் அற்புதங்களும் குவிந்தாதரமும் சிற்றிடையும் சின்ன விரலும் வில்லென பூர்வமும் சுற்றி வயிற்றையும் விழியும் சுந்தர மொழிகளும் எண்ணிவிட மறந்தால் எதற்கோ பிறவி இத்தனையும் இழந்தால் அவன்தான் துறவி குடி முதலடி வழை முழுவதும் சுகம் தால் விருந்துகள் படுத்திடும் அரங்கமும் அவள் அல்லவா மண்ணில் இந்த காதலன்றி யாரும் வாழ்தல் கூடுமோ எண்ணம் கன்னி பாவையின்றி ஏழு ஸ்வரம் தான் பாடுமோ பெண்மை இன்றி மண்ணில் இன்பம் ஏதடா கண்ணை மூடி கனவில் வாழும் மானிடா மண்ணில் இந்த காதலன்றி யாரும் வாழ்தல் கூடுமோ எண்ணம் கன்னி பாவையின்றி ஏழு ஸ்வரம் தான் பாடுமோ
All right. Now I think I need an ambulance, but hope you enjoyed that song. And this is something where all of us music fans have listened to the song over and over and over again, and it's something else to create these sorts of things in a vacuum. So would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that room when Ilayaraja sir and SPB sir were discussing this and making it happen. What a song. All right, guys. Thank you again for tuning in. I'm just keeping an eye on the watch here. I think we are. Let's move. I need to move it along a little bit. I like to talk, so I'm going to slow down. Here's another song. So many of these songs that were written in the Hindi films by poets like Sahir Ludhianvi Sahab sound very prophetic these days. I'll leave it at that before we kick off this next one.
राहों में डेरा है, अनदेखी बाहों ने हम सबको घेरा है। ये पल उजाला है, बाकी अंधेरा है। ये पल गवाना ना, ये पल ही तेरा है। जीने वाले सोच ले, यही वक्त है, कर ले पूरी आरज़ू। आगे भी जाने न तू, पीछे भी जाने न तू। जो भी है बस यही एक पल है, आगे भी जाने न तू। इस पल के साए में अपना ठिकाना है, इस पल के आगे का हर शय फसाना है। कल किसने देखा है, कल किसने जाना है, इस पल से पाएगा जो तुझको पाना है। जीने वाले सोच ले, यही वक्त है, कर ले पूरी आरज़ू। आगे भी जाने न तू, पीछे भी जाने न तू। जो भी है बस यही एक पल है, जो भी है बस यही एक पल है। जो भी है बस यही एक पल है।
Indeed, जो भी है बस यही एक पल है. Said it was prophetic. Now, all right, I see that we are just about half past the hour. I'm thinking we're going to have a brief word from a little more about Sankara Eye Foundation, I believe. Muraliji, is it a good time to pass the baton to you, I think?
Okay, yeah, so that I will leave you all by yourself for the rest of the evening. So I'll quickly have a word, because some people would have joined late. The beauty this time is we are broadcasting both via YouTube as well as Facebook Live. And as I told you before, we are running 10 hospitals of our own, Sankara Eye hospitals, and we are supporting 9 other partners in various states. And with all your support, 2.1 million free eye surgeries has been completed. Imagine so many people can see because of you. Now is the time we need some oxygen because of this COVID, like everybody else in the world. So please support us during this difficult time, and we will come back with more enthusiasm and march very enthusiastically towards eradicating curable blindness. Are you all enjoying Sanjeev and Armeen singing? Kya baat hai na? How many languages? Kya beauty! Enjoy. Continue, Sanjeev.
That was very quick.
That's all.
I said a quick
everybody
word,
wants
but
singing, not speaking.
yeah. Okay. All right. So I alluded earlier to the flair for drama in the Hindi films, and of course, in any
storyline that's engaging. Love typically plays a very central role, and the early Hindi films, were replete with love stories and quite a bit of drama around love and commitment and attachment, and how forever and ever and ever, forever love, and I will die of heartbreak if I'm parted from you, and plenty of memorable songs in that vein. With the 70s and the arrival of composer R.D. Burman, among other things, things took a turn for a different turn and a refreshing turn in some ways, and even attitudes about what is love and attachment and commitment and those feelings, how are they embodied in lyrical form. Gulzar Saab, we have now, after all these decades, he's become a fixture in our minds for unusual ways to look at things, and what he wrote back then, even back then, was quite unusual for its time. तेरे बिना जिंदगी से कोई शिकवा तो नहीं, तेरे बिना जिंदगी भी लेकिन जिंदगी तो नहीं. तेरे बिना जिंदगी से कोई शिकवा तो नहीं. ये लता जी का पार्ट है. मैं जस्ट ब्रेक के लिए, as you guys all know, the weather has been all over the place this spring, and along with everything else we're dealing with, it's not especially great for the voices, but we're coping.
तेरे बिना जिंदगी से कोई शिकवा तो नहीं, शिकवा नहीं, शिकवा नहीं, शिकवा नहीं. जी में आता है तेरे दामन में सर छुपा के हम, रोते रहे, रोते रहे. जी में आता है तेरे दामन में सर छुपा के हम, रोते रहे, रोते रहे. तेरी ही आँखों में
तेरे बिना जिंदगी से कोई शिकवा तो नहीं, शिकवा नहीं, शिकवा नहीं, शिकवा नहीं। तेरे बिना जिंदगी भी लेकिन जिंदगी तो नहीं, जिंदगी नहीं, जिंदगी नहीं, जिंदगी नहीं। तुम जो कह दो तो आज की रात चांद डूबेगा नहीं, रात को रोक लो। तुम जो कह दो तो आज की रात चांद डूबेगा नहीं, रात को रोक लो। की बात है और जिंदगी बाकी तो नहीं।
तेरे बिना जिंदगी से कोई शिकवा तो नहीं, शिकवा नहीं, शिकवा नहीं, शिकवा नहीं।
तेरे बिना जिंदगी भी लेकिन जिंदगी तो नहीं, जिंदगी नहीं, जिंदगी नहीं, जिंदगी नहीं। तेरे बिना जिंदगी से शिकवा तो नहीं।
Thank you all very much. Hope you've been enjoying. This is a new setup for all of us, and I'm still getting used to being. We love singing for ourselves, but in this setting, sort of interacting with you guys and getting a feel for what you guys are thinking and what what else we might like to hear. It's a totally different setup. We're shooting from the hip a little bit, kind of what comes to mind. We're throwing it out there, but what did we say we're going to do next? Yes, I know which one. All right, so it seems weird to say that, in a way, it feels strange to say that A.R. Rahman has been ruling the roost for decades now at the top of the industry, because in some ways it feels like it was just yesterday that he came up. But fact of the matter is, I'd say it's been a good 20, 25. I mean, got close to 30 years now. Is it that It was in the 90s when he made a splash with Roja and some of those early soundtracks, but he has gone from strength to strength. And, so it's no surprise that pretty much every program you end up going to will have something from the Rahman repertoire, and ours is no exception tonight. On a related note, it's a common phenomenon particularly in film music, that you have a movie made in one language that is then translated, dubbed in another language. And songs that became popular in the original, when the writers then have to fit lyrics to that same tune in the new language. And given the original was in another language, sometimes the meter and everything was very specific to that language, and the translated or dubbed version doesn't always do so well as far as the fitting of the words go. I can offhand think of two exceptions to that just in the Rahman repertoire. I talked about Roja earlier. The Kadal Rojave, the original Tamil, was a huge hit, but lyricist P.K. Mishra fit the lyrics to the Hindi version so well that it is absolutely seamless, and it's almost like inconceivable that it wasn't a Hindi song first. Perhaps the composition might give it away, but the lyrics themselves are so well fit. And the other song is this one. The original is from the movie Alai Payade, Pache Nirame, that's sung by Hariharanji. Again, some fabulous voices that it just in casual conversation come up so easily when we start talking about the melodies from the industry. But Pache Nirame in Hindi, as you all know, became the title song of the movie Sathiya. And I mentioned Sonu Nigam earlier. He is one of the talking about the combination of music lover and astute observer and flair for drama. Those things, again, few exemplify those things together like he does. And this is definitely one of our favorite songs from his repertoire.
Sathiya, Sathiya, madham madham teri gili hasi. Sathiya, Sathiya, सुन के हमने सारी पीली हंसी.
हंसती रहे तू हंसती रहे, हया की लाली खिलती रहे, जुल्फ के नीचे गर्दन पे सुबह शाम मिलती रहे. हंसती रहे तू हंसती रहे, हया की लाली खिलती रहे, जुल्फ के नीचे गर्दन पे सुबह शाम मिलती रहे. थोड़ी सी हंसी तेरी खिलती रहे मिलती रहे.
Lyrics again are by the one and only Gulzar Sahab.
पीली धूप पहन के तुम देखो बाग में मत जाना, भंवरे तुमको सब छेड़ेंगे, फूलों में मत जाना. मधम मधम फिर से हंस दे, सोना सोना फिर से हंस दे. ताज़ा गिरे पत्ते की तरह सब्ज़ लान पर लेटे हुए, सात रंग है बहारों के एक अदा में लपेटे हुए. सावन भादों सारे तुमसे, मौसम मौसम हंसते रहना, मधम मधम हंसते रहना.
साथिया, साथिया,
मधम मधम तेरी गीली हंसी.
साथिया, साथिया, सुन के हमने सारी पीली हंसी.
कभी नीले आसमां पे चलो घूमने चले हम, कोई अब्र मिल गया तो ज़मीन पे बरस ले हम. तेरी बाली हिल गई है, कभी शब चमक उठी है, कभी शाम खिल गई है. तेरे बालों की पनाह में ये सियाह रात गुजरे, तेरी काली काली आंखें कोई उजली बात उतरे. तेरी एक हंसी के बदले मेरी ये ज़मीन ले ले,
आसमान ले ले साथिया मधुम मधुम तेरी गेली हंसी साथिया साथिया सुन के हमने सारी पीली हंसी
बर्फ गिरी हो वादी में ऊन में लिपटी सिमटी हुई बर्फ गिरी हो वादी में और हंसी तेरी गूंजे ऊन में लिपटी सिमटी हुई बात करे धुआं निकले गरम गरम उजला धुआं नरम नरम उजला धुआं
All right, folks. Hope you enjoyed that. Again, very happy to be here. For those of you tuning in, this is the 5th of 7 concerts in the Sankara Eye Foundation's eRoshni series. Happy to have you joining us on a Saturday evening, most of you, Saturday afternoon, evening, any early birds in India, early Sunday morning. Hope it's a little tough to find a time slot that works for everybody around the globe, but hopefully we got as many viewers as possible. Well,
So as you all know, I usually chime in more than I have been today. But at least folks around here probably know that we're in the thick of the pollen season, and that's not been very kind to me. But I'm going to give this next song a shot anyway, because I just really, really love it. And, again, it's definitely, it's a little challenging, but as I said, we'll give it a shot.
well, anything by any of these folks that we've been trying to sing is quite challenging. And then, yeah, Lataji has really. So many composers in the early days said that because of Lata Mangeshkar, we were able to rewrite all our plans and compose in different ways that we never thought was possible before. And, none, perhaps more so, all of them were fond of Lataji. Dada Burman, S.D. Burman, was very, very fond of her. And, the story goes that he would always call her on the phone to check how her voice was sounding, to see if she was in shape to record, because his livelihood depended on it so deeply. He was so intent on getting the best from her. Relationships have their ebbs and flows, and the relationship between Dada Burman and Lataji had its ebbs and flows too. And there was a period where she was not singing under his direction for a few years. And when she did come back, though, with a resounding bang came back, and this was one of the first songs when they resumed their collaboration in the early 60s.
हाय पवन दीवानी न माने उड़ावे वो राहुता आली पवन दीवानी न माने उड़ावे वो राहुता आली पवन दीवानी उलझिलट हमारी लिपटी मोरी सारी पथ पे कोई जैसे मारे पिचकारी उलझिलट हमारी लिपटी मोरी सारी पथ पे कोई जैसे मारे पिचकारी इस मोड़ डगरे नहीं सोचे कित चली मैं गोरी वैरन सब बूझे घूम घूम रोके फिर भी मर जानी पवन दीवानी न माने उड़ाए मोरा घुंघटा पवन दीवानी. Thank you.
That was from the early 60s movie Dr. Vidya. Again, we talk about stars of the industry and multifaceted stars of the industry. Vaijayanti Malaji, I think, is one of the most multifaceted stars that we have that we have seen in the Hindi films. And you know, if you read her bio, she apparently has a range of talents, including she's got a pretty decent golf game. Apparently, that's what I read too. So this is, you know, of all the things, you know, music, dance, arts, and then, you know, stuff like this. But multifaceted talents find their way into these roles, and we have examples of that from all around the subcontinent. But this song here, Pavan Divani, in the Ektal of 12 beats, a very conspicuously classically based songs. I'm going to pause here and just give a shout out that every Sunday at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern on the internet radio station Radio Dil, I host a radio show called Swaranjali Sanjeev ke Saath Sangeet Ka Surila Safar that explores the classical traditions of the subcontinent through the lens of the popular music. And a song like this has featured on the show, where I would talk about the rhythmic play in the Mukhda of Ektal and the piece, the Udave Mora Ghungata, jis tarah se compose kiya gaya hai, and the basses in Rag Bahar, Bageshri. There's a rag called Bageshri Bahar. But we get into all of these details of the songs, not just Hindi films, but films from all around, and non-film music too, basically popular genres all around. Swaranjali, every Sunday at 11 on Radio Dil. So I invite you guys all to check it out. It's on the web at radiodil.com, and there's a smartphone app too. So hope you guys can tune in if you have not already. So in that vein then, talking about the classically based melodies, take a brief segue here to bring in this next song. By saying that a melody is based on a rag, it doesn't mean that it follows it to the letter of the law, but it has a very conspicuous base. And rags are, you know, there are many layers to them. We can call they're melodic landscapes, but that's a very esoteric and, you know, hoity-toity, highfalutin term. So what does that mean? They're melodic landscapes. Well, they start with combinations of notes. So if I say sa sa re ga ma pa da ni sa sa ni da pa ma ga re sa, this is the natural scale, major scale that everybody is accustomed to hearing. I can make certain notes sharp or flat. The technical terms are komal and tivra, of course, many of you know. But even if I just take the natural notes like this, then there are specific behaviors I'm looking for. If I say sa re re ga ga ma pa ma ga ma re, I've dropped a pretty big hint that I'm thinking of something in the territory of the rag chaya nut. All of these have names, but you know what's in a name? Really, it's the behaviors that are of most importance, and this is a very specific tagline. Da da na na ma ga ma pa ma. You wouldn't be surprised to know that there are many, many songs in Hindi films based on that. If I go to Rahman, I've got "Eh Hairate Aashiqi Jagamat" right there. And I'm going to go back a little further. We've been talking about Dada Burman.
We've been talking about Rafi Sahab, and here's one from their workshop.
चल गए हम बेखुदी में तुमको पुकारे चले गए हम बेखुदी में तुमको पुकारे चल गए सागर में जिंदगी को उतारे चले गए हम बेखुदी में तुमको पुकारे चले गए हम देखा किए तुम्हें हम बन के दीवाना देखा किए तुम्हें हम बन के दीवाना उतरा जो नशा तो हमने ये जाना सारे वो जिंदगी के सहारे चले गए हम बेखुदी में तुमको पुकारे चले गए हम तुम तो न कहो हम खुद ही से खेले तुम तो न कहो हम खुद ही से खेले डूबे नहीं हम यूं नशे में अकेले शीशे में आपको भी उतारे चले गए हम बेखुदी में तुमको पुकारे चले गए सागर में जिंदगी को उतारे चले गए हम
Thank you very much. And we are past the top of the hour. I think we have just a bit more time before we call it a night, at least call it a night on this side. You guys out west have a few more hours to stay up and enjoy, and we are, let's see what we've got. I think we've got time for one more. Yeah, as Armeen mentioned, it's lots of things in play right now, and adjusting to so many different circumstances and technology, and then the weather has been how long has it been since the weather wasn't all over the place? But we're working with it, and hope you guys have been able to enjoy some of the music coming from this side. Hope all the technology has been cooperative enough. We're still working on it. So hopefully we'll get another shot at it before too long. This was a lot of fun doing this in a different environment. We got one more for you, and with that, we'll then hand it back after that to Muraliji and the Sankara Eye Foundation folks to take you home. With the Naushad Saab, Rafi Sahab, Shakil Saab trio, we now add Lataji into the mix. And what does that make for but yet another memorable song, which we will give a go to, and hope you guys enjoy it. It's been one of our favorites for a long, long time now.
दो सितारों का ज़मीं पर है मिलन आज की रात, दो सितारों का ज़मीं पर है मिलन आज की रात, मुस्कुराता है उम्मीदों का चमन आज की रात।
सितारों का ज़मीं पर है मिलन आज की रात, आज की रात। हुस्न वाले तेरी दुनिया में कोई आया है, तेरे दीदार की हसरत भी कोई लाया है। तोड़ दे पर्दे का चलन आज की रात, मुस्कुराता है चमन आज की रात, दो सितारों का ज़मीं पर है मिलन आज की रात, आज की रात।
जिनसे मिलने की तमन्ना थी वही आते हैं, चाँद तारे मेरी आहों में बिछे जाते हैं, चूमता है मेरे कदमों को गगन आज की रात, सारी दुनिया नजर आती है दुल्हन आज की रात, दो सितारों का ज़मीं पर है मिलन आज की रात, आज की रात।
There you have it, Sanjeev and Armeen Ramabhadran, father of a teenager and a first grader. And I think it's starting to show now. We have, let's leave it here, and hopefully we'll get a chance to get together with all of you again before too long. Hope you've enjoyed. Muraliji, please take it from here and take us home.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
so
for
much
having
having
us.
us.
Oh God, you both rocked. The last song is super, so melodious. I see all the text, the text on Facebook Live. People are ready for another 20-25 minutes.
Oh, gosh.
but you're done, no, with this?
I think so. We will let's make a date for another go around.
Okay. Okay.
You know, we will save
Very
some
nice.
for next time. You know, I think the challenge with this format is some people are better at sort of multitasking and kind of reading the comment thread and sort of picking up songs from there. That's the next layer to add on to this, because we weren't able to do requests the way we normally do. Well,
Maybe a
the
big
time is also a little
big
short
screen
tonight.
in front of you showing the Facebook comments.
Yeah, we will next time through. We are, as I said, the learning curve is a little steep. We're climbing up it,
Yeah.
but for next time. So
That came out very
we'll
well,
do that
audio
better.
and so melodious, both of you. What a range and what versatility. बहुत मजा आ गया, बहुत मजा आ गया.
Thank
We
you so
totally enjoyed it. I see all the comments, very beautiful. So go listen to your recording, it'll be wonderful. Folks, I think I hope you all enjoyed the way we enjoyed. And kudos to both of them. Fantastic singing. Very melodious. You touched our hearts.
Thank you.
Somebody was asking for the website of Radio Dil. I think they want to listen to you. So we already posted it there.
Sure. Yes, please. Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, Swaranjali is on Sundays at 11
Yes.
p.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern. So the West Coast folks have a decent time slot. India folks have a decent time slot. Sundays at 11 on Radio Dil. Thank you.
Very nice. People who are watching, again, this is a fundraiser for raising emergency fund of $500,000 to keep our 10 Sankara Eye hospitals and 9 other partners afloat. So that after this is over, we want to come back and resume our fantastic journey towards eradicating curable blindness. So we will do it. With you brought us this far. I'm sure you will take us that far. Yeah. So next week, this is the 5th show. As we've been saying, there's total 7 shows, and the 6th and 7th are from India, both the artists. So it will start at 6 o'clock, because 5:30 in India is too soon. So it will start at 6 o'clock the next 2 weeks. For next week, we have Srinath Nair and Devarpan Dhar. They are college mates and are founding members of the musical collective project, the Green Room Tapes Collective, which they founded in 2016 in Kolkata. Devarpan is a trained Rabindra Sangeet singer and is also a contemporary stage performer from a very young age. And Srinath is a Hindustani classical vocalist specializing in ghazals, and is also a keyboard player, music performer, and music producer and performer. So the Green Room Tapes Collective on YouTube, they have more than 40,000 subscribers. So that's the next show. And we just finalized on the final grand finale by Sasha Tirupati. Sasha Tirupati, she sung in many movies. I did not know because I'm an old timer. But as soon as she's from Kashmir, but she was picked up by Rahman, and she's got fantastic hits in Tamil. I'm sure Hindi also.
Absolutely.
That will be a grand finale. So again, we'll be broadcasting on YouTube as well as Facebook Live. So be with us 2 more weeks. Thank you all. Wonderful.